This video is for educational purposes only. Some regenerative and integrative therapies discussed may be investigational or used off-label and have not been approved by the FDA to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual outcomes vary.
This is Dr. Cruz from Kentuckiana Neuro Recovery Center, and we are interviewing
Alan David.
Mr. Alan David, and is it okay if we put this on the internet?
Certainly.
Great. Where are you from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia area.
Okay. And why did you come to see us?
Well, I wanted to get, I've had a stroke in 2017, and I wanted to get improvement in my function and cognition.
So what were the main problems that you wanted to get improved?
Well, I daily had a kind of a brain fog, and it didn't make it hard, but it felt like fatigue all the time. And then I have spasticity on the whole left side of my body, and it's very hard to walk and function, and even balance was a problem.
Okay. So it was hard to get up out of a chair.
Oh, yeah.
Spasticity in the arm, you said, and pain. You had trouble rotating your forearm,
yes.
I think, when we examined you. And I think the trapezius, you said a 6, and the biceps, I'm probably getting the numbers off, but the 7, and then the forearm was a 5 in the pain scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after the treatment, my balance has gotten better, noticeably better. My cognition has gotten a little bit better. I've been able to remember things, and my leg is a little better, a little looser. I'm walking better.
Right. So you normally walk with a cane, and right after the treatment, you were walking without the cane. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Did you feel your speed of walking was better?
Yeah, I'm taking bigger strides and walking stronger.
Okay.
That's great.
So, and now we'll interview his wife.
Mm-hmm.
What improvements do you think? What is your name?
My name is Shannon.
Shannon.
Mm-hmm. And I have seen the improvement of his steps when he walks. They're longer, and he seems to be more sturdy on his feet, like balance-wise. And the cognitive, the remembering, the list of the tests that we just went through, he did a whole lot better on it.
So I'm glad you brought that up. We do a MOCA test, and we ask people to remember 5 words in order at 1 minute and then at 5 minutes. And the first time we tested him, he could only remember 2 words out of the 5. I think he got them in order. And then after we did our injections, which we'll talk about in a minute, he could remember all 5 and in order. And then we did a bunch of other exercises, and about 30, 45 minutes later, we said, hey, let's see if you can still remember those words. And he remembered all 5 words, which, is impressive because about 45 minutes have passed since we asked him for those words. And I was trying to remember them. Of course, I hadn't studied them like him, and I could only remember 3 of them. So that's a very impressive memory improvement. You only remembered 3, and then you remembered all 5. So now we want to interview Miriam, who's our expert neuro rehab physical therapist with a personal history of cerebral palsy, which is why she studied so hard and is way beyond the average physical therapist. And tell us what you see from your perspective.
Yes, several functional things improved drastically. The one that we noticed very significant is his ability to, number one, scoot to the edge of the chair without using his arms to get to the edge. Also, he was rocking 5 to 6 times, rocking forward to get up. After the treatment, he literally was able to get up initially with 1 rock, and then secondarily, once he coordinated that, he did 2 sit-to-stands without a rock, and then got to the 3rd one before he had to do even a slight rock. So again, that's a 200% improvement from his ability to get his center of gravity, his body, over his feet to stand. He also was able to sit back down without losing that center of gravity, his body over his feet. A lot of times people with strokes, when they go to sit, they will land further back in the chair and actually fall backwards into the chair. And he was actually able to coordinate that without doing that at great control. The second thing that he was not able to do previous to the treatment was he could not stand and move his feet together for a Romberg test, feet together. He had to hold onto a surface to be able to do that. After the treatment, he can absolutely move his feet together without losing his balance at all, without putting his hand on anything.
And go ahead, sorry.
And the other thing that he had difficulty with was the Romberg. He could not hold that for more than 3 seconds pre-treatment with his eyes open. Post-treatment, on very first try, he held the entire 30 seconds. Romberg, feet together, eyes closed, pre-treatment, he could only do 3 seconds. Post-treatment, he got full 30 seconds.
With his eyes closed?
With his eyes closed. No loss of balance. No, he had a very, very slight sway. Trace, you can barely see it. You wouldn't be able to see it on a video. So marked improvement, so much so that we're looking at progressing him to a 1 or 2 inch foam pad to begin working on that therapeutically at home with the Romberg to challenge his balance. So massive improvements in his center of gravity, balance control, both with and without visual input.
Great. And so, for those of you wondering what treatment he had, these treatments are off-label. They're regenerative injections, and what off-label means is they're not FDA approved, but they're safe and have tons of science behind them. And we get these results because we combine a lot of different modalities. And I would say, arguably, the most important treatment is the physical therapist's treatment evaluation and treatment home program. But we give IV vitamin therapy, we do paraspinal etanercept, personal stem cells that can be harvested from your body, ozone injections that remove pain and paresthesias, decrease the inflammation. And so by addressing all these problems from a lot of different approaches, we get very good results. 80% of our patients improve. They don't return necessarily to their pre-stroke level, but they become much more functional. And I stress, Miriam's contribution, the physical therapist, because before I did the injections, Miriam had already improved Mr. Allen's ability to get out of a chair to a certain extent. She had taught them new quote-unquote tricks to get out of a chair, to get out of a bed, which after 400 hours of physical therapy elsewhere, in 1 hour and a half with, Marion's high-level neuro rehab, they learned some new things that they already knew they were better before our injections. So hats off, Miriam, because it's really remarkable. And then the other thing I want to add is these two have a phenomenal attitude. They are optimistic. They believe in the things that we believe. We speak, think, and pray our world into existence. And they believe in healing frequencies. And they believe in the power of our Maker. And all those things contribute immensely to the kind of results you can tell that they're disciplined people. This gentleman is a musician. He had 2 gold albums. And so he understands the discipline of practice and making your craft as a musician better. And he has no problem with, okay, I need to do these exercises that Miriam, the physical therapist, is telling me. And he has a wonderful companion, Shannon, who is willing to, promote and guide that. And so I just want everybody to know it's not just the injections, it's what you bring to the table. How much discipline are you going to put into this? And are you willing to listen to an expert like her? Because I'm a small cog in the whole thing, and then I do my injections. Mm-hmm. But it's a team, and the patients that have the best results are the ones that have your attitude. So I just feel like sending that message out to everybody. So thank you very much for letting us interview you. Really helpful.